Bam Leute und herzlich willkommen zurück nach langer Zeit mal wieder zu Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Und wie ihr seht, sind wir nun beim dritten Teil angekommen, Trials and Tribulations. Ja, ich hoffe, ihr hattet alle schöne Festtage. Ich stecke noch mittendrin und habe mal wieder Bock, ein bisschen mit dem Finger rumzuzeigen. Ja, ich werde vermutlich jede einzelne Stimme wieder komplett massakrieren, weil ich überhaupt keine Ahnung mehr habe, wie, wo und sowieso. Ja, ne? Also, ich würde sagen, wir gehen rein. Und genau jetzt fängt auch meine Stimme an, irgendwie, mein Hals fängt an zu kratzen. Geil. Okay, wir gehen rein in Episode 1. Turnabout Memories. Let's go. Ja, please. Die spooky Musik wieder. How did I get into this mess? Wer ist das? Statist. Nein. Why? Why did I do that? War nur ein Statist, alles gut. Oh, er hat einen Regenschirm. Vielleicht war er doch kein Statist. That girl. Das ist ein Kerl, oder? Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. Ich weiß nicht, wer spricht. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. Ka-ching. It wasn't me. I didn't. I didn't do it. Boah. Epische Musik. 5 years earlier. Mia Fey, second trial. April 11th. 9:40 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby. Number 3. Wir sind back, baby. Und wir spielen Mia. An ihrem zweiten Fall. Okay. Oh je, Mias Stimme. Es beginnt, Leute, es beginnt. Phew. It's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg. Good morning.
Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know.
What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me, I'm relaxed.
Let go of my lapels. You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer.
I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today.
Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I'm Marvin Grossberg. I'm at your service.
Actually, this is my second time in court.
Still, you surprised me. But with your earnest request last night, let me handle this case, you suddenly said. Quite forcefully, too.
I just found out yesterday about the case, I mean.
What? You've already learned all the relevant facts?
Well, about that, you see, I mean, of course I have, I think.
Oh dear. In any case, don't let your client see you're so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's your client.
Hi, Phoenix.
Good morning there, everyone.
Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. Ja, passend zur aktuellen Zeit. Ne? Tragt eure Masken, Kinder. Und Erwachsene auch. Kinder müssen zwar nicht, aber könnt trotzdem, wenn ihr wollt. Das ist nicht Grossberg, das ist Phoenix. I just want to say, I'll give it all I've got. Yeah, it'll be fine. No prob. Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Wright? Actually, it's Wright. Like the Flying Brothers. Okay, people screw up all the time. Yes, and I have a cold. That's what his mask is for. Alter, so vorbildlich. Selbst wenn er nur erkältet ist, trägt er eine Maske. Warum kriegen das die Leute bei uns nicht hin? Entschuldigung. My doc says this way I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright, you have nothing to fear in court today. If you are truly innocent, I promise I will save you. Please let go of my shirt. That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that trial traumatized me so badly, I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time I'm going to win. For my client, and for myself. Alles klar, Mia. We got you, babe. No worries. Courtroom number 2. Ah, wen sehe ich denn da? Mit prächtigem Haar. Ja, du auch. Dein Bart ist immer noch. Holy shit.
Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Pain. Oh. Schöne Perücke hast du da auf. Richtig, also ist... The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it?
Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem?
I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defense.
Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency.
Emergency? But isn't that him standing there right next to you?
Yes, well...
You're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this?
Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. But, of course, Your Honor. I think. By the way, Phoenix, übrigens on trial, bin ich gar nicht drauf eingegangen. Scheinbar, also wir haben ja vorhin gesehen, er hat Statist A umgebracht. Mit dem Regenschirm. Also, angeblich, nehme ich mal an. Und die haben irgendwas von dem Girl gelabert, ne? Also, vielleicht ein kleines Love Triangle. Wer weiß.
Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please.
Well, ach Gott. Oh, dieselbe Gestik und jetzt mit den Haaren, das ist, oh, nice. I love you. Well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl, it will all be over soon. What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me? Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Statist A. Was ist Statist auf Englisch nochmal? Ich weiß es nicht. Nennen wir ihn Duck Swallow. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology.
It sounds like he was a very bright young man.
Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his gateway, they then called the police.
That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence.
Crime Photo 1. Crime took place behind an Ivy University building. Okay. Können wir das mal kurz nochmal angucken hier. Erstmal hier wieder die Mechanics hier, ne? Wir haben den Attorney's Badge. Mia's Badge. Ja, nicht Phoenix's. Mal was anderes. Proof of my possession. The first and last time I wore it was a year ago. Wir haben Duck's Autopsy Report. Date and time of death. 4/9. Also, das war ja, glaube ich, andersrum, ne? Also der 9. April. Oder? Ich glaube. At 3 p.m. Cause of death was a fatal electric shock. Oh. Bzz, bzz. Hat Phoenix irgendwie krasse Kräfte hier mit Elektroschock. Pikachu. Jetzt das Crime Photo Check. Ah ja, hier, ne, das Stromkabel, ne? Alles klar. Der Regenschirm, den hat's auch erwischt. Sad. Press F. You will be remembered. Sonst nichts Verdächtiges hier, ne? Ich glaube, ne. Okay. Huch, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo. Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. I don't even know what this means. The truth is that this victim died rather unusual death. An unusual death? What do you mean, Mr. What does this mean? Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question. A simple question. I thought you might loosen up a bit. I am a genteel man, if you will. What? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you've made of.
Perfect opportunity. What was it? The cause? Go on. Please, say you know at least this much.
I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file.
My hemorrhoids are beginning to act up.
Okay.
Now, see here. The details of the case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you?
Ah, the court record. I think I can see that by pressing the R button. We already did, girl.
All of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good look. A good hard look at the data here and think carefully before you answer, my dear.
Yes, sir. I'll just do that. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. Court record. Okay, let's take a look. Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death? Ich weiß nicht mal, was das für Auswahlmöglichkeiten hier sind. Hypothermia klingt nach irgendwas mit Temperatur. Also vielleicht Hitzeschlag. Ja, es ist ein Haufen Buchstaben. Es ist Electrocution. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution. Electrocution? But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps? The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue. What's that? Why, motive, of course. Apparently there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant. Bad blood? What do you mean? Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this. I really don't like this guy's smug attitude.
That's Winston Payne for you. He's one smooth operator, if you catch my drift. They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know.
Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time I would like to see some supporting evidence.
Evidence? No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all your weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Greybeard's face.
Okay, okay. Ist das ein King?
Yes, sir. Into old Greybeard's face. Mr. Grossberg, please, after the trial, not here, in public. Try to set a better example for the young lady. Yeah, evidence isn't the only thing in court record. People's profile are as well. You can toggle between profiles and evidence with the R button and to be sure to go over it all. Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim?
Alright, let's see. Marvin Grossberg, 61, my superior and the head of Grossberg Law Offices. Phoenix Wright, 21, my client. A third-year art student at Ivy University. Art student? Okay, he currently has a cold. Doug Swallow, 22. The victim, he was a fourth-year pharmacology student at Ivy University. Dahlia Hawthorne, age 20. Phoenix Wright's girlfriend. Oh, dated the victim Doug Swallow up until 8 months ago. Oh, ja, ich glaube, wir haben es herausgefunden. Winston Payne, age 49. Ach, immer noch knackig. The prosecutor for this trial, a veteran lawyer with a little too much confidence. Ja, also war wirklich ein Love Triangle, so ein bisschen, ne? Naja, also sind ja nicht mehr zusammen. Aber, ne, präsent. Ach ja, wir sind ja nicht mehr Felix, jetzt habe ich männliches Take That erwartet. The reason for bad blood between the two of them was this woman here. Dahlia Hawthorne, is it? Very good, Miss Fay. You seem to have picked up on at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Good job, Phoenix. Just saying. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly has some part to play in the story.
Oh, he's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne. Please call your first witness.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Fay?
It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? Defense has no objection.
Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand.
Alrighty. Hello. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Ich hatte gerade einen Schock. Ich habe gerade geguckt, ob ich überhaupt aufnehme und dachte erst, nee, ich habe gar nicht auf Aufnehmen gedrückt. Aber doch, alles cool.
Yes, my name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect. Oh no, he means, what did you do before you were arrested? I was a university student.
Mr. Wright, you understand that you are suspected in the death of...
But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm telling you I was... Would the defendant please refrain from passing on his call to the rest of us?
It seems the witness has something he wants to say.
Well then, Mr. Wright. Please tell us about your relation to the victim. Right away, Your Honor. The victim and I... I admit I was there, but I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. British? Okay. I see. So you hardly knew the victim. Right. Like I said, I'm not a killer. Whew, it looks like the judge understands. Oh, you're being naive, you know. Too naive.
Huh?
It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady.
And that would be?
This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination.
Cross-examination? He's right. It's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if witness's testimony contains any contradictions.
Contradictions?
If a witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record.
But Mr. Wright is my client.
Even if he is your client, in court all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see.
What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now, that it was a lie? A contradiction? Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Alrighty. I admit I was there. Let's press. Hold it! When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered? Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened anyway. Oh god. Something? You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence. Anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow. It was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident. A coincidence, huh? Not a killer. All I did was find his body. You say you found the body, so who called the police? Unfortunately, it was some other students that notified the police. Other students? That's correct. There were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body, in shock. What? Is this true, Mr. Wright? Alter, ich krieg selber hier noch eine Erkältung, wenn ich hier weiter so rumhuste. Could you stop sneezing every time you're in a bind? Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body. Ja, wäre wahrscheinlich jeder, ne? But I hardly knew the guy. So, you didn't know his face, or even his name, right? Right. Well, no. That is, I mean... So, which is it? Did you know him or not? Now, see here, you can't avoid answering the question by sneezing all day. Well, I guess I did know his name. News to me? Why didn't he tell me that before? I heard he used to date Dolly. Who is this Dolly person? Ah, yes, that would be the defendant's lover, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, I see. Young love, so bittersweet. But that's all I knew about him. Never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right, I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Well, Mr. Wright? No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear. Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe? Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Did you see it at the crime scene? The Union Jack, I mean. Yes, that's right. I saw it on the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? It's true. Cross my heart. I swear I didn't do it. He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night. May I ask you something, Miss Fay? Yes, Your Honor. What is it now? Who is this person anyway? This Union Jack fellow? Weiß ich auch nicht, aber verrat's keinem. The Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag. Oh, okay.
Wusste ich natürlich.
Oh, I see. So you mean like the stars and stripes, right? As usual, Your Honor, your insight astounds me. Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now?
Mia, there's a contradiction here.
Mr. Grossberg.
Quickly, now, shove the boy, you mean business, with evidence, show, nicht shove. With evidence, I mean.
Okay, Mia, check the court record carefully.
Well, my dear, do you think you can manage on your own from this point?
I can handle it. 1 year ago, I was in a courtroom just like this. I can do it. I can handle this myself.
You mustn't try to bite off more than you can chew, Mia.
Okay. I'll be fine. You know what I know what I have to do.
Remember, you can always press him to get more information. Oh, one more thing. When you are going to state the contradiction, make sure you present some definitive proof.
Okay, Mia. One more time from the very beginning of this testimony. Nee, ich brauche nicht vom very beginning. Ich weiß, was zu tun ist. So, also ich weiß noch nicht, aber ich nehme stark an, dass er wahrscheinlich gar nichts dergleichen anhatte. Nee, das ist komplett clean, die Weste oder was auch immer er da anhat, die Jacke. Von daher, da war nichts drauf. Present. Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure it was right there on his back. Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning? Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute, he's wearing a little leather jacket. The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Oh, the music. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me.
Mia, you've made our client cry.
Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. Can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong. That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime.
Oh no, did I go too far?
By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it?
Yeah, I took some, but...
Was the medicine that you took over the counter brand called Cold Killer X?
Yeah, that's right. It kills cold good.
Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now?
Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere.
You lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now?
Huh?
Your Honor, I'd like you to take a look at another photo from the crime scene.
What's this? The victim's hand, it's It's Cold Killer X.
Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it. But what? Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine dropped by Mr. Wright and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright. Well, shit.
Order in the court.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well. The court will accept them into the record.
Crime photo 2 added. The victim's watch stopped at the time of death. Oh, okay, ja, okay, gut zu wissen. Found clutched in the victim's hand, covered in Wrights fingerprints. Aber gut, er könnte es natürlich überall verloren haben und er hat es einfach aufgenommen. Und vielleicht wollte er es ihm ja zurückgeben oder so. Wobei er wahrscheinlich nicht wusste, dass es seine ist. Egal. Irgendwie. Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Broken?
Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this?
This is really bad. Oh, my buttocks, my poor hemorrhoids.
Yeah, that. What really happened?
The truth is, I went because he called me.
He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 o'clock we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I'd been taking Cold Killer X for at least 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident.
Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible.
Miss Fate, please begin your cross-examination.
Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell me any more lies. Okay. Wahrscheinlich irgendwas mit der Uhr. He called me. Why? Had you ever met the victim before then? No, never. But that day he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly.
And this Dolly person is...
Ach, come on, Judge. Hatten wir doch schon. My, it's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart.
Oh, what was that from here?
Wieso hat ihn geschlagen? Oh, I'm sorry, I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden. Okay. Dolly Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim. Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is.
So it was one of those nasty love triangles. I see.
Okay, so we agreed to meet behind the building. So, was war es übrigens jetzt für eine Uhrzeit? Können wir uns mal kurz angucken. Es war, oh Gott. Es war kurz nach 3, ne? Wenn mich das Analoguhrlesen nicht täuscht. Mensch, ist das lange her, seitdem ich eine Analoguhr gesehen habe. Ja, müsste kurz nach 3 sein. Okay, aber das... Moment, also 2:45, ja, haben sie sich getroffen. We talked for a bit. And around 3 we split up. Das heißt, direkt danach Mhm. Later. Aber was heißt later? Moment, ist das vielleicht die Contradiction? Ich press mal hier. Weil es war ja erst 2 Minuten danach. Also bist du einfach vor und wieder zurückgelaufen oder was? So, you say you went back. Yeah, that's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Well, that's right, I was. Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we could make up. Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this. Das sieht ein bisschen irrelevant aus. I lost my bottle around lunchtime. Also so 2 Stunden, ne, davor. 2, 3. Okay. Okay, dann machen wir mal hier. At around 3 we split up. So, what was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime. Hang out again sometime? I wish that were true. Then later I went back. Oh yeah, nee. Agreed to meet behind a building. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time. You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Schwierige Wörter hier. Everyone called him the alchemist of Ivy University. An alchemist? I see. I gotta admit, I was a little suspicious. It was a little suspicious. We had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details. Oh yeah, please. About the timing of the meeting. About pharmacology. Wir beginnen mal mit dem Timing. So you're absolutely certain that you met at 2:45? Yeah, pretty sure that's the time class ends. They're always doing experiments, so it doesn't matter much. Experiments? Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in the lab whipping up something. Well, it looks like he's right about the time anyway. Witness, let's go on with your testimony. Okay, dann das andere, bitte. Hold it! Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, about pharmacology department. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure, I didn't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Oh, gut, dass Sie das vorhin gepresst haben. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high voltage cables everywhere. Also das sind die im Bild, ne? High voltage cables. Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. Okay. Aber warum? Also ich meine, ja, hier sind die Dinger, ne? Das sind diese Kabel. Und die haben ihn ja offensichtlich auch umgebracht. Ist nur die Frage, Wie? Ich sehe es irgendwie noch nicht so ganz. Das kann auch, das haben wir, glaube ich, ne? Das haben wir auch, das haben wir auch. Das haben wir noch nicht, ne? It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of the year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. Also ist es April, ja, hatten wir recht. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in spring, huh? I suppose common sense is not always common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine? Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. But I lost around lunchtime. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Oh, her mini omelets are magically delicious. Yo, why did you punch me in the jaw? I'm sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. Why? I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. Then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation in bottle either. Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl. However, there is one mystery that still remains. And there is, Your Honor. How the murder was carried out, of course.
Ja, eben, genau das ist halt das Ding. Ich meine, offensichtlich war es ja das Kabel, ne? Aber wie? Wie hängen die beiden zusammen? Ne?
Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct?
Well, that is, you are correct, Your Honor.
So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe we could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose.
Establish murder method, ja, das ist relativ easy, würde ich sagen.
Your Honor. Yes, Miss Fay. I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive.
Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence.
Of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Fay, let me see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted.
Das Foto, ne? Genau.
Take that! As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well.
What? Come on. Sogar noch stilistisch die Electrocution noch, ne, hier schön dargestellt.
But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. Der Regenschirm war's. Er wurde vom Blitz getroffen. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Fay, where exactly is the murder weapon?
Here.
Take that! Well, naturally, it's right here. That's... What is that? A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere.
So that the high voltage cable...
Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation.
That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man.
Es ist gerade mal 47.
No, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been high voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant.
That is much certainly true.
Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? Well, what is it?
His fingerprints.
Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well.
You mean...
Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The paw prints of the defendant's very own hand.
What?
Kann man echt Prints von der Hand? Ohne die Finger? Kann man das matchen? Ah, wahrscheinlich, ne?
What?
I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Oder das war die ganze Hand wahrscheinlich. Ich bin gar nicht sicher. Palm of his hand? Ist wahrscheinlich die ganze flache Hand gemeint. Ich dachte jetzt nur so die Handballen-Area oder so. Aber wahrscheinlich ist die ganze Hand. Ja, dann ist klar. Intent of murder. He squarely pushed the victim towards this severed electrical cable. Ei.
Order! That's enough.
Klingt aber mehr wie ein Unfall. Also, dass sie ihn gepusht hat, das stimmt wahrscheinlich, weil sie haben ja über Dahlia diskutiert. Und wahrscheinlich war Phoenix ein bisschen aufgebracht.
I think you can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination.
Stick a fork in us, we're done.
Mr. Grossberg.
My hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. Oh, come on.
No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent.
No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt.
Your Honor.
At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay?
Is this what you want, Mr. Wright?
You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth.
If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be. Hey, Mr. Wright, I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Fay.
Hey, mach die Maske wieder hoch.
No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything.
Wait a minute. Mr. Wright, I'll tell you what really happened.
But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further...
I did it. I admit it. I pushed him.
It's my fault. My fault that Tuck Swallow is dead. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. Hadouken! What you just said, was that the truth? Yes, I was afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure. Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Faye? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. Still can't believe it. You really did push the victim.
Oh, feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
Okay, dude, du musst einfach die Klappe halten. When I pushed the victim. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly.
Hadouken!
I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that.
Simple explanation indeed.
At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there wasn't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Hey, thanks, Mia.
Miss Faye, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without delay. Are we clear on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't give up, Mia.
If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. He's talking bad about Dolly. Okay.
Was hat gesagt?
So, what kind of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl. Oh, was she? I'm sure she was.
Is that all?
Yep.
Well, Miss Faye, you heard him yourself.
Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after he said that, I just gave him a shove. Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? The guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. Ach so, er hatte die Jacke gar nicht an. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy.
Hadouken!
He dead. I just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. Und sieht aus wie ein Badass. Geschieht dir recht, motherfucker. And when you did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen. Right, there was nothing like that at all. But is it possible that you merely overlooked it? Well, I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Oops. Don't let that guy steamroll over you like cheap asphalt. I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony, witness. I heard some kind of loud noise. Och, das hab ich ja übersehen. Hab ich gar nicht mitbekommen. Loud noise. Loud noise? What would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was. Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. As for more details, leave it alone. Ach komm, passt schon. Die Wahrheit wird siegen. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha, could it have been... Yes, could it have been? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. Ja, ist geknickst. Hadouken! He fell right on top of it and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. Moment, aber er lag nicht unter ihm. Okay. An umbrella, huh? Did that umbrella belong to the victim? Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone. Miss Faye, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Well, yeah, this is important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony. How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer. Court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add a bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony. So, das Ding ist, after I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. Der Regenschirm war nebenan, ne? Das heißt... Oh, ich seh erst jetzt gerade etwas. Das heißt, er ist nochmal aufgestanden. Sonst wäre er ja immer noch unter ihm. Was mir jetzt gerade aufgefallen ist, er liegt auf seinem Bauch. Er würde nicht auf dem Bauch liegen, wenn er ihn auf den Bauch geschubst hat. Dann würde er logischerweise auf den Rücken fallen. Von daher, da ist noch was anderes passiert. Vielleicht ist er wie ein Volltrottel selber reingelaufen. Und dann nach vorne umgekippt. Yes, also I would like to present this, I think. Objection. Why did you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. No! Die Haare beginnen sich zu entfernen. Order! The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now? Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene. I want to present it as evidence immediately. Okay, owned by the victim, found broken near an electrical pole at the crime scene. But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind. Nicht, wenn drauf liegt. According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind. But I know this matter of umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubts remain, I cannot render final judgment. No! I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. Phoenix's testimony. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when this happened. Ja, ist kaputt gegangen dabei. Macht Sinn. Und das ist, glaube ich, auch ein guter Beweis, weil der Ring steht kaputt, ne? Also es ist hohe Wahrscheinlichkeit, dass diese Aussage auch stimmt. Wie sonst sollte er dann kaputt gehen?
Well done, Mia.
Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about? Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. I was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone. I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Let me guess, you have another witness. Exactly, and this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible. Well, who is this witness? Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly? I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. Warum hast du die nicht von Anfang an geholt, Mensch? What? I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear. Flick. Ooh, bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this. You can't be serious.
But Mia, what do you mean by that?
I think this is a good point for us to stop. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Kriegen wir keinen Speicherpunkt? Okay. Defendant lobby. Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah, so I guess I can start relaxing, huh?
But relax, my boy. You can't be serious after hiding so much important facts.
But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. You just jinxed it. Why do you think that? Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dolly and I, we first met about 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse.
Okay.
Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer, on the side anyway. One day, she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off, but before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this.
So she gave it to you as a present, I see.
This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little Dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, alright. It makes me so happy I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world.
Oh, Phoenix. He's so in love.
Dahlia's present, a small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. Anyway, so after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne, 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it?
Huh?
Yeah, it was. But how did you... This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. What's this? A newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse? Murder?
What are you reading there? Well, let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I correct?
Article from 28th of August, almost 8 months ago.
Well, I hope you don't mind, Mr.
I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself.
Ah, but yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look into the downstairs reading room and see what else we can find.
Thank you.
I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We better all get moving.
I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though.
Did it? Wir kriegen eine Intermission. Okay. To be continued. So, das war's mit der ersten Folge vom letzten Teil von Phoenix Wright as Attorney. Trials and Tribulations. Phoenix sitzt auf dem angeklagten Stuhl und als nächstes haben wir seine Loverin auf dem Zeugenstand und werden mal gucken, was es damit auf sich hat. Scheinbar hat es vermutlich eine Connection zu einem Murder-Case in der Vergangenheit. Wie immer eigentlich. Gibt es irgendeinen Fall in Phoenix Wright, der keine Connection zu einem vergangenen Mordfall hat? Naja. Gut. Damit würde ich sagen, ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Bleibt gespannt. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Bis dahin. Macht's gut, Leute. Und tschö.